I tried to position myself, and I put myself over here. It looks like I'm a peacock over here. It looks like I got something sticking out of my head, but it's my favorite place to be, really. Outside with my hummingbirds and my birds and all the stuff. You asked me, what's the difference between when you're taking medicine if you're bipolar and when you're not? Well, I got a good example. I guess I would call it stop shoveling the coal. So this afternoon, I got a phone call about going on another podcast to share our journey from darkness to light that I'm one of the authors for. So I was like so excited, and I love doing that sort of thing. And anyway, but I also could tell that very quickly I started moving into my manic self. So one of the main symptoms I find for me is that I start, getting all excited and thinking of like a dozen things that I want to do that I feel like need to be done. And then I go about, like I start the washer, but forget to turn on the dryer with the other clothes in it. And, I start to fill the applesauce pouches container, but then I leave it. And I start clearing off the table from lunch. And then I hop to something else, and I went to myself, you know what? I know this pattern. And, with it is accompanied a feeling of overwhelm and anxiety, and oftentimes, which in my case also is a headache. So I have a whole bunch of tools in my belt to help me. Here's the difference between being on medication and not. When I was not on medication for my bipolar, I was doing kind of crazy things. Like one time, I decided that there were flies in the living room, and I had to get every one of them. So for about almost 2 hours, I was running around the living room with fly swatter. Now, it was very manic. Another time, I stayed up all night typing bylaws for this women's group that I was trying to put together with some other ladies, and things like that. Just another time, I was wallpapering all night. So there's things that normally you wouldn't do. But so today, on medication, I'm able to recognize what's happening. Secondly, use tools. For example, today I used the depressurizing tool in the book. I use the, just the idea of thinking of songs like slow down, you move too fast, and laying down to take a rest, although my mind was spinning quite a bit. But, doing the deep breathing and so having the tools in my tool belt as well as the medication, that three-legged stool, I was able to, as well as somatic training, which is a YouTube that's just amazing, 12 minutes. Anyway, here I am in the front yard enjoying the breeze for a bit before I go back in and work on some things. So, to me, it's like being on a train. And when I'm manic, it's like as though I'm just shoving coal into the engine, in that fire as quick as I can get it in. But if I'm on medication, the three-legged stool, and if I use tools in my tool belt, I can slow that train down before it goes off the tracks. So that's the answer to that question. Please continue to send me questions, and I'll try to field them. I'm kind of an open book for the most part. So thanks. Bye.